Hey, y'all. This is a huge, huge conversation and one that we really need to be having. I got your questions. Instruction is not a commodity. Learning is not a commodity. It can't just be transferred from one storage medium to another, brick and mortar to online. That's not how pedagogy works. And the world of teaching online has an entirely different set of norms, an entirely different set of practices, an entirely different set of research. It just doesn't work the same way. The state of K-12 online learning right now is that we're not doing much good teaching because this platform doesn't allow for that. The platform is not designed for that. If we were going to talk about how we were going to authentically meet the every need of every learner, which is what pedagogy requires, in my view, in my theories, in my writing, my fervent belief is that all teachers have a responsibility to meet all needs of all of their learners, of each of their learners. If we're going to take that charge seriously, we have to fundamentally retool pedagogy for an online environment. And there are certain elements of learning online that are not necessarily developmentally appropriate for young children. So the state of online learning right now, for me, is blithe. I don't think people at the administrative level, at the policy level, understand that this is a terrible substitute for loving, authentic pedagogy. We're doing our damnedest, but we don't have the professional development. We don't have research on how to do this. This is undone, right? Because we know from the literature that this is not a wise course of action, but it's all we have. So we have to try to make it work as best as we can. Our responsibility as educators is, as I said, to meet all the needs of our children, and that includes making sure that they are physically healthy, they are mentally healthy, they are social emotionally healthy, to love them authentically and to take care of them. And you can't do that if you bolt them to a screen and ask them to do multiple choice quizzes. One of the things I want to talk about is revolutionizing the school to be basically a 24-hour-a-day community center that is all about meeting the needs of the community, first and foremost, the children in that community. And I do think the physical infrastructure will always be important. This is never going to be an appropriate substitute. It just isn't. No, I don't ever see the physical infrastructure going away. To the contrary, it needs to become more adaptive, and more physical infrastructures need to look, act, and feel like Discovery. No. There is no way to make up for it. They will be different social interactions, but there is no parity between them. I do have some hope. I don't want to keep saying no. I do have some hope that this is going to provide families an opportunity to say, I need to be more involved watching what my child does online and helping them facilitate pro-social interactions. I am having many more pro-social interactions with my friends and colleagues through an online interface compared to what I used to. But I have pro-social skills. I'm an adult. We have to teach those skills to our children, and this is an opportunity to do that. But we mustn't confuse it with the value of the kinds of interactions that occur organically in the physical real-world setting. I mean, the more time you can put groups of people together with those established norms in practice, not talking over each other, making sure everybody gets an opportunity, utilizing a back channel to raise your hand or ask questions. Some kids just like to see other kids and they want to type. Some kids love to yammer. Helping teachers to facilitate that honest online exchange and to make sure every voice is heard. That's good praxis regardless of modality, but the skills that you have to employ in the online environment versus the physical environment are very, very different. Digital natives are obviously going to have an easier time of that than people who are not as technology comfortable. We need more modular design, because when we come back from this crisis, there may be instances in which we want to do more starting with a large group mini lesson and breaking out into even smaller components. I want the ability to flexibly rearrange the school building on the fly. That's a real challenge, and I recognize that You know, like a radical design like Joplin High School after their major tornado, the one that they built in the mall, you may be familiar with that architecture project, that had some of those unusual spaces, born more out of necessity than anything else, but I always think that those are worth examining because I want us to have more of those flexible spaces, including for small group learning and for the individual to kind of retreat from the group when they're out doing their own thing. The design of the learning environment needs to continue to be able to be tailored based on needs of individual students, which is going to change on not just an annual basis, sometimes even a day-by-day basis. And I think that we are capturing that by making sure that rooms are open and flexible. We need more modular walls, and then to continue to afford massive options in seating and in workspace. Go to single occupancy stalls, and then let's look at self-cleaning restrooms so that we can do serious sanitation. Yes, there's an expense involved, but we're going to have to start investing additional expense in hygiene. Those sort of things are really going to be hugely important in terms of spacing, in terms of hand washing, in terms of providing ample disinfectants. Seeing my kids every day. I think anybody who loves children is going to give you the same answer. I miss my kids. I really miss seeing them. There's something magical about, you know, watching them light up. That's why we became teachers, and I definitely do miss that. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you guys later.